I endured years of silence in my marriage until one day I walked away and everything changed.
For 13 years, Emily Carter lived in a marriage that looked perfect from the outside. A house in the suburbs, 2 kids, smiling pictures on social media, everything appeared normal. But behind closed doors, the silence between her and her husband, Daniel, grew louder with every passing year. Their marriage didn't break overnight. It faded slowly, like a candle burning out without anyone noticing. In the early years, they talked about everything: dreams, fears, silly things, weekend plans. But as Daniel climbed the corporate ladder, his conversations became shorter, his dinners became later, and his eyes stayed glued to his phone more than to her. Emily tried. She tried to talk. She tried to reconnect. She tried to save what they once had. But every time she opened up, Daniel said the same thing. "You're overthinking. Everything is fine." And those words cut deeper than anger ever could. Because nothing was fine. He stopped asking how her day went. He stopped noticing her smile. He stopped sitting beside her on the couch. He didn't cheat, but he did something almost worse. He forgot she existed emotionally. The silence became her roommate. One night, while they sat at the dinner table, Daniel scrolling through emails, the kids talking between themselves, Emily realized she had become invisible in her own home. She whispered to herself, "This can't be my whole life." But she stayed. For the kids. For the home they built. For the fear of starting over. Years passed, and Emily turned into a woman she didn't recognize. She woke up early, cooked breakfast, got the kids ready, went to work, handled everything alone, emotionally abandoned but pretending everything was normal. Until the day everything changed. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning. Emily was packing lunches when she suddenly felt a heavy pain in her chest. Her hands shook. The room spun. She dropped the juice box she was holding. She thought she was having a heart attack. She wasn't. It was a panic attack, the result of years of holding in sadness, loneliness, and frustration. At the hospital, the doctor asked gently, "Are you under emotional stress?" Emily broke down, for the first time in years. Not because she was weak, but because she was finally being seen. That night, she sat in her car outside her home for 20 minutes, staring at the front door, scared to walk into the same silence again. Then she whispered to herself, "I deserve to be chosen too." The next morning, she packed 2 suitcases, one for herself and one for the kids. She didn't yell. She didn't write a note full of blame. She simply wrote 3 words. "I'm leaving now." When Daniel came home early and saw the empty house, he froze. For the first time in years, he felt something. His silence finally broke. He called her again and again. But Emily didn't pick up. Not out of revenge. Not out of anger. But because she had finally chosen peace over loneliness. She moved into a small rental apartment. Life wasn't easy, bills, routines, adjusting the kids to new schedules, but for the first time in a long time, she could breathe. She laughed again. She slept peacefully. She became human again. Months later, Daniel asked to meet. He apologized, genuinely, and admitted he hadn't realized how deeply he had hurt her. "I thought being a good provider was enough," he said, his voice trembling. Emily looked at him with kindness, not love, not anger, just acceptance. "It wasn't your job to destroy me," she said softly. "But it was also never my job to stay broken." She walked away again that day. But this time, she walked away free. Moral: silence can break a heart just as deeply as betrayal. Never stay somewhere you are slowly disappearing. Choosing peace is not selfish, it's survival.